What up, everybody? It's your boy Zach the King up in this motherfucker, man. Back with another video. As y'all can see from the title, this is my 2 years in Japan, the good and the bad. But before I get off into this video, as always, man, hit that subscribe button below so you can be the first to know and help the channel grow. Now, first and foremost, let's pour us a celebration drink. My unofficial sponsor. Y'all know the bottle. And in Japanese fashion, kanpai. Now, yes, I have hit my 2 years in Japan. Actually, my 2 years in Japan technically was yesterday, but before I made this video, I wanted to go back and look at my first year in Japan video that I had made, which was about an hour long. So I cannot have to repeat the same things, or I could add or subtract from that. With that being said, I will pin that video in the comments. It's a very good video. It's an hour long, but it's very informational, informatorial, however you want to say it. It's a lot of good information in there based on my experience from my first year in Japan. And in this video, in that video, I listed all the good things about Japan that I like, all the bad things that I thought were, necessary to give you guys an outlook on in that video. So this video is not going to be an hour long because as I watched that video, I just realized that I was very detailed in that video. That's why it's an hour long, and a lot of the things haven't changed, especially as far as the good. Now, as far as the bad things that I listed, a lot of those were just my own personal, opinions, I guess you could say. But I have become used to a lot of the things that I listed as the bad in Japan. So go watch that video again after this one. So I'm gonna go with the things that I didn't mention as far as good and bad that I have, thought of in the last year. All right. So let's start with the good. The good thing is I didn't mention in that video is living here since I've lived in this house since June of 2022. So I'm going on 2 years of living in this house, right? Because I've been here 2 years, obviously. I have good neighbors, man. My neighbors don't bother me at all. I don't bother them. I live in a cul-de-sac, and, all of us got big, nice houses here. I have a 4-bedroom fucking mansion by Japanese standards. You can go find that video under my playlist of Japan. My first Japanese house is the title. If you want to see what my house looked like before, I might do an update of what it looks like now that I got furniture and everything in it. It's not much because I live by myself. Excuse me. Might need a little drink. One thing I do notice about my neighbors, though, is that they don't associate with each other. Living this close, normally in America, everybody is in everybody's business, especially if you live in a white people area, and some black areas too. But everybody here is to themselves, quiet, including myself. When I see my neighbors outside, they greet me, hey, how you doing? Ohio, konnichiwa, kumbawa, whatever time of the day it is. I will make another video after this of some new Japanese words and phrases to go along with this video like I did last year. So stay tuned for that. But overall, I don't have no issues with my neighbors, never have. Hopefully it stays that way. So that's a good thing. Another thing, last year I complained about the prices of the plane tickets. I was paying, like my first year here, I was paying like $2,000 to go back and forth from Japan to California. Well, an update to that is I found an airline which is called Zip Air, right? And it used to be the old Japan Airlines. and they fly from Japan all the way to LA and San Francisco. So now when I go home, I just fly into San Francisco, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hour drive, depending on what time you get there. Could be 3 hours sometimes. And the tickets are about $1,000 round trip. And that's including meals, 2 meals, one there and one back, and stuff like blanket. This is from Zip Air, which is one very comfortable blanket. All the airlines I ever rode, this is the best blanket that I've ever had. They give you some slippers and shit, a whole bunch of shit I don't use. I use the blanket, so I always get the little package deal, but it comes out to about 900, I think about 900, 950, maybe not even 1,000, right? I travel all the same times every year. Usually it's April, July, and November is when I'm going back to California. So I went from paying like $2,000 a plane ticket to about $950 to $1,000 for a plane ticket. So Zip Air, y'all can look it up. Zip Air flies out of San Francisco and LA, I know for sure, and they fly all over this area of the world. So look into Zip Air, okay? And the last thing to wrap up the good, because like I said, I mentioned a lot of good in the first video and nothing has really changed. You know what I mean? I was very in detail with it, but the best thing I can think of, and this is before when I made the video last year, this is before I started taking advantage of this, but now I have in the last year. If you've been following my channel, you've seen it. And if you haven't, I'll give you some examples. And that is that I can travel to so many countries for cheap and time wise. You know what I mean? I'm going to another country this weekend, so stay tuned for my next STK Travels video. I'm getting another stamp on my passport, but let me list off the places that I've been able to travel to from Japan in the last year. I've been to Okinawa, which is about a 3.5 hour flight south of the mainland of Japan. Technically Japan, but if you look in the history books, Okinawa was once its own country, okay? It's kind of like Hawaii and America. If you go to Hawaii, I lived in Hawaii for about 5 years, they consider that they're still their country, even though it's technically a state. I've been to Korea, South Korea. I've been to Guam. I've been to Thailand. And I just recently came back last month from the Philippines. And again, I said a couple minutes ago, I'm getting another stamp on my passport and I'm going to a whole new country. So that makes about 6 trips, regional trips that I've made in the last year since I made that last video. Like I said, Okinawa was about 3.5 hours. Guam was about 3.5 hours. Korea was about 2.5 hours. Thailand was about 4 hours. Philippines was about 4 hours. And the country that I'm going to next is about 3.5 hours. So stay tuned for that. So that is probably the best thing as far as good things that I could list. If you want to know any other good things about Japan, like I said, hit that video that's pinned and please watch that video. It's very thorough for anybody who's never been to Japan or is coming to Japan or has an idea about coming to Japan. Please watch my whole Japan playlist and especially watch that video. All right, now let's get to the bad. Again, I listed all the bad things that I thought was bad, and a lot of those was my own personal opinions. But again, as I said, I have gotten used to 90% of the things that I listed on that video. But there are 2 things that I didn't list on that video that I can think of off the top of my head. One is that you cannot recycle. Man, if I could recycle here, you know, they want you to separate your trash and put the recyclables and let them take it off. But if I could recycle here, man, I'd get like about $200 extra per month. You know what I'm saying? Because I run through a lot of plastic bottles, cans, glass, and in Hawaii, I was recycling like a motherfucker. So that sucks. You know what I mean? Another thing that I just got me thinking about that is it's hard to find like I work for the government, right? But if I want to go get a second job, if you don't speak Japanese, it might be a little harder for you to get a second job. You know what I mean? I have a lot of time on my hands, which is why I make some of these videos whenever I feel like it. But if I knew Japanese, oh, I could be going and working another little part-time job and banking all that money, because it would be just money I don't even need anyway. I'm living very, very well over here with just the pay that I do get. And the most thing that I could say bad here is it's lonely. You know, it's lonely. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I get very lonely over here sometimes, but it's okay because I chose this. You know what I mean? Like, I chose to come to Japan by myself, but I have a vision for how I want my life to be in the next 5 to 10 years. And coming to Japan offered me a way of, you know, I've been spending the first year I got here, 2022, last year, and I'm definitely spending this year, you know, gonna be looking a little bit heavier here in about another week or two, now that I got confirmation that my new custom jewelry is done. But I don't really, you know, go out as much as I used to when I first got here to the clubs and everything. And my personality, the way that it's set up, is not for everybody, and everybody's personality is not for me. Therefore, you know, one of my goals this year, I told myself, was that I'm going to make more friends. From the time that I made this video last year to this year, the friends that I did have, the people that I thought was cool and on my level, they left already. So with that being said, like, I have no family here, and I have maybe 1 or 2 people that I can really consider a friend. You know what I'm saying? But we don't hang out like that. You know what I mean? So it does get lonely over here. Like, this shit, it might look great on camera, but you know, if I didn't have this fucking PlayStation to hold me over a lot, you know, I probably would be going stir crazy around this motherfucker. So, you know, that's why I take a lot of trips, as I just mentioned, to other countries. Like, I'm going to another country this weekend. Stay tuned for that video. And I try to go back and see my family at least 3 or 4 times a year, just to keep my own sanity. You know what I'm saying? So that's about it, really, as far as the good and the bad. Everything is great here, though. You know what I mean? I have no complaints. I wish I had a complaint for y'all. Like I said, the things that I did complain about in the other video, as far as having to find things that are bad about Japan, I've gotten used to, so it's not so bad anymore. And you know, I just focus on more of the good, like being able to travel, you know, having money all the time to do what I want whenever I want. You know, I live in a very gorgeous house. You know, my bills are always paid on time, or matter of fact, I pay my bills even before they're due, which I know my landlord loves that shit, because I haven't heard from him but maybe 1 time in the last 2 years. He doesn't come over here because he gets his money 2 weeks earlier than the rent is even due. You know what I mean? But, you know, I wish I could find a bunch of things that I dislike still, but I don't. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've gotten used to a lot of that stuff. And like I said, all the things that I listed good in that other video and in this video, it just keeps getting better, man. So I'm going to be getting out more this summer, though, and giving y'all some more content, meeting some new people, interviewing people, random people, you know, Japanese who speak English, and maybe people that don't look like they're from Japan, you know, like foreigners, and asking them questions too. So that's more ways of making friends and meeting new people, which was one of my goals at the beginning of the year, and giving y'all some good content, man. So, hey, this is my 2nd year reflection. I appreciate all my subscribers. I realized last year when I made this video, same video, I was starting a new channel because my old one had gotten deleted. But I only had like 100 subscribers. Now I'm ready to give away $300 to a random subscriber once I reach 1,000, and I'm almost there, man. I'm about 100 and something more to go. So hit that subscribe button below so you can be the first to know and help the channel grow, and also so you can see where I'm going next and all of my trips in the future and all of the good content that I got coming your way in the future. Stay tuned. I got 2 more videos. One is going to be a couple of new words and phrases that I've learned here in this last year. Another one is an announcement that I'm going to make about Japan. So thank you for watching. Please hit that subscribe button below so you'll be the first to know and help the channel grow. It's King.